so far?
So before the budget was passed, I was the guest speaker 2 weeks before that to the ILBA, which is the Illinois Licensed Beverage Association. And they were very much concerned about that passing, and it did pass. And they're just worried about their revenues, small business, with the minimum wage going up and then Paid Leave for All Workers Act. There's just been a lot of additional expenses on small business, so they were very concerned about their revenue. The city will work as best as we can with our partners. We do have a requirement in the city of Springfield that if you are a gaming operation, you have to have a specific percentage of food and beverage sales. And that is something as a mayor I'm committed to keeping intact, because I think that those belong not in where establishments where there isn't just food and alcohol sales going on. We need to keep that intact. That was an entertainment piece for those establishments, so I'm going to keep going on. We audit those once a year, and I, through the last year's audit, actually had to go after a certain particular industry or business in Springfield that wasn't keeping up with that percentage, and I will continue that, and I made that commitment to ILBA that day. They do want to make sure that it's fair across the board with everyone. I think that's the biggest portion of it, is that everyone's treated equally and fairly. That was their biggest concern, but yes.
And I think the concern is, especially with as tight as some of these venues' budgets actually are, gaming has been a differentiator. And I would really encourage us to go back and visit this, because I think there's a way to keep the current integrity of how it's set up in place while raising perhaps even more dollars through some expansion in what opportunities. But I think the biggest opportunity, and we heard it once earlier today at least, is when we look at where these dollars are going, they are going to fund our vertical capital, right? And so much of this, as I scroll through the budget and 251 on where those dollars are going, all of these VGT revenues that are being raised outside of the city of Chicago seem to be going and supporting significant projects in the 13th Ward, in the 26th Ward, 27th Ward, Chicago Public Schools, and there are capital dollars that are being raised significantly outside of Chicago.
Leader, your time is up.
I will close if...
Representative Schweizer will yield his time.
And so what I'd like to see even more so is, imagine the pot of money that we could have towards capital projects on a bipartisan basis if we were able to bring Chicago into the VGT world and actually raise some revenues for good projects that could be very helpful there. So I think we have some missteps on the VGT piece, and I'd like to see us work towards fixing that perhaps as we get to veto session.